Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you weren't expecting things to break right and the Grizzlies would somehow, some way finish in the top 6 of the Western Conference standings and avoid the play-in because, as you know by now, I'm certain it did not happen. Turns out they finished 8th in the Western Conference standings. You know what that means. Road game Tuesday night against the Golden State Warriors. They're going to do it in San Francisco. Underdogs. That means unless the Grizzlies upset Golden State, they're going to play a home game Friday against either Dallas or Sacramento, and that game would be a must-win or your season ends after 84 games. This is not where we expected to be, but we'll talk through it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, Michael Eve's going to join me. He hosts SportsCenter for ESPN. Was at Augusta National all weekend. Buddy, did he see a roller coaster of a ride in the final round of the Masters? Rory McIlroy completes the career Grand Slam, but not without drama. Michael Eves experienced it all. He's going to talk to me about it. He'll be here in the next segment. Finish talking to him, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories, among them Ashton Hardaway is returning to Memphis to play for his father. He's going to do it next season. That's your big transfer news of the weekend. We'll touch on that in about 40 minutes. Illinois star Kasparis Jakučionis has formally declared for the NBA draft. He's a projected top 10 pick. I'll tell you something I've noticed about these decisions. We're going to do that in the third segment. Gayle King, Lauren Sanchez, Katy Perry are among the women who blasted off into space this morning. So far, so good in the sense that nothing's blown up, far as I can tell. That's really where I set the bar on these types of things. As long as stuff don't blow up, it's going okay. We'll spend some time on that a little later on in the show. Tennessee's quarterback is no longer Tennessee's quarterback. He quit the team the day before spring game because he wasn't getting enough money in NIL. He said, give me more money or I'm leaving. They said, we're not giving you more money. He said, okay, I'm leaving. They called his bluff, or somebody called somebody's bluff. And now we got the biggest story in college football originating in the state of Tennessee. I'll talk through it. Sign of the time in college athletics. We'll do that in just a bit. And I have an update about Real ID that I got to share with Bennett.
Okay.
I know how stressed you've been about this.
Yeah.
Are you still stressed about it?
Well, I mean, I just feel like you downplayed it a little bit last week when I talked about it, and now it's like the biggest story in the world.
I have something to share with you.
Okay, good.
I have something I learned this weekend, and I want to share it with you. I want you to hear it from me before you hear it from somebody else. I have something to share with you. And we're going to do that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies, and that's because Game 83 of the 2024-25 season is going to be played Tuesday night in San Francisco. And if you're wondering, why is Game 83 going to be played Tuesday night in San Francisco? The simplest answer is because things have gone terribly wrong for our NBA franchise. I mean, it's been a rough past 7 weeks for the Grizzlies. If you've been distracted by life or tariffs or whatever else, let me catch you up on what's been going on.
Refresher.
This is what we call a refresher. Back on February 27th, the Grizzlies were 38-20, second place in the West. Things were going okay. In fact, I'd argue better than okay. It felt good. Next night, they lost to the Knicks. One night after that, they lost to the Spurs. 2 nights after that, they lost to the Hawks. 2 nights after that, they lost to the Thunder. And that is more or less how the past 7 weeks have unfolded. After sitting at second in the West on February 27th with a 38-20 record, the Grizzlies went 10-14 the rest of the way to finish 8th in the West. In the process, they lost Brandon Clark to a season-ending injury, fired their coach, also lost Jalen Wells to what appears to be a season-ending injury. And now they're 7.5-point underdogs in the 7th-place game on Tuesday night. If they upset the Warriors tomorrow night, they'll be the 7th seed in the Western Conference playoffs and get a 7-game series against the Houston Rockets. That's what we're rooting for.
Yes.
If they lose at Golden State tomorrow night, then they'll return home, play either Dallas or Sacramento inside FedEx Forum on Friday. Win that game, you get to be the 8th seed. You get a 7-game series against Oklahoma City. I don't know all of that. Lose that game.
I love that.
And then the season ends after 84 games. So Big Bet Bennett, that's where we're at heading into Game 83. Didn't expect to be here, but that's where we're at, and that's how we got here. How you feeling on this Monday morning?
You know, I'm feeling like I guess a little bit better because, yesterday was fun. Yesterday was fun.
You had fun yesterday.
I did have fun yesterday. Can I play one highlight from the game yesterday?
So
we said that we talked about it. This was my favorite
moment
moment of the game yesterday by far.
Okay.
We got it, Kyra. It is, of course, the great Yuki Kawamura, who had one of the highlights of the day yesterday in the league in which every single team played. I think we have the clip. Do we have the clip?
So this is great producing, Ben.
There we go.
All right. Because of the scheduling situation. Kawamura
Steal.
Look at the throw. Bagley. Yes.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
Yuki.
That's Yuki to a former number 2 pick in an NBA draft. That's a transition bucket. Yuki to a number 2 pick.
I just wanted to give some love to the game yesterday because I didn't figure we were going to spend too much time on it. So I just wanted to give some love to the game yesterday. I also saw someone say, it's a great point. Dude, if Yuki Kawamura was like 6'3", he might be like the best player in the NBA.
Maybe.
No, I think he would be.
Perhaps.
Basketball IQ.
He has a high basketball IQ. I don't think anybody's ever debated that. There was a point in time in this world where I bet you Marvin Bagley never could have imagined catching a transition pass from
backwards pass
from Yuki, and vice versa. Yuki could never imagine throwing a pass in transition to a former number 2 overall pick in an NBA draft. But somehow life has brought them together.
Yeah.
In Game 82
It's fun.
of a regular season.
It was a fun little day yesterday.
With the entire valuable part of the roster resting. Life brought them together.
Worry about that.
You never know who you're going to end up with, you know?
Yeah.
There was a point in time where I guarantee you Marvin Bagley never thought he was going to end up with Yuki and vice versa. But
here they are.
Here they are.
Yeah.
It's awesome how sometimes life brings people together.
I was happy for Bagley yesterday.
Me too.
Yep.
Hopefully, Bennett, what comes next is a nice surprise.
Yes.
Hopefully what comes next is a win in San Francisco and an awesome series with the Rockets that the Grizzlies win to advance to the Western Conference semifinals for the first time since 2002.
I like that talk.
That's the hope.
Okay.
But that's not the expected outcome in the betting markets. In the betting, I'm just trying to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
In the betting markets, the Grizzlies are expected to lose tomorrow night, but then win on Friday, and then get a 7-game series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that's not expected to go well again in the betting markets.
I wouldn't feel great.
There would be no actual reason for you to feel great.
I wouldn't feel great.
The only way you could feel great heading into a 7-game series against the Oklahoma City Thunder as a Grizzlies fan would be drugs. You'd have to alter your mind and consume so many drugs that you were like, I feel great.
Not opposed.
I feel great. I'm not either. Yeah. I'm not either.
Could help me get through the series.
Yes. Are you kidding? Not only am I not imposed, I might endorse, Let's wait and see. Let's not put the, buggy before the horse, as they say. But I'm not opposed.
Yeah.
All right? Mm-hmm. But the only way you can feel good heading into that, I think, would mind-altering drugs. You ever meet somebody and they're just happy, and you're like, what are you so happy about? You shouldn't be happy. Your life is a mess. And it's like, they're on drugs.
Yeah.
They're on drugs.
I will say.
Same type of thing.
I'm fired up for tomorrow night. I am.
That's going to be fun.
Yes.
Tomorrow night's going to be fun.
Yes. I mean, the history between the two teams. I would much have rather played the Warriors than the Clippers.
Tomorrow night will be fun, but it'll never distract me from tomorrow night should not even be happening.
Right. That's fair.
But again, just if it plays out the way it's supposed to play out, they're expected to lose tomorrow night, win Friday, and then play the Thunder and then be eliminated by the Thunder. That's not the hope, but that is if you just were like listing the most likely way the Grizzlies season will end, I just told you what it is.
Yeah.
It is lose tomorrow, win Friday, get eliminated by the Thunder. And if it really does go down that way, I hope there are some lessons learned from this disappointing season, and that we all recognize that the approach that was taken to this regular season ultimately proved counterproductive and is the main thing that put them in this situation. I sincerely hope people understand this. I think it's important. The Grizzlies did not finish 48-34, 8th in the West, and find themselves in a road game in the play-in and likely headed for a first-round series with the 68-win Thunder because Brandon Clark got hurt. That is not what caused this. Jalen Wells getting hurt is not what caused this. Marcus Smart getting traded is not what created this. Ja Morant only playing 50 games and thus missing at least 21 games for the 4th straight year is not what caused this. And you know what else didn't cause this? Either keeping Taylor Jenkins too long or firing him at all, depending on what your perspective is. None of that is why the Grizzlies are playing a road game tomorrow night. The reason the Grizzlies, the real reason, the biggest reason, I mean, all those things play a role, I guess, but the real reason the Grizzlies finished 48-34, 8th in the West this season, it's because the franchise, broadly speaking, de-emphasized the regular season in a way that is highly unusual relative to the way the rest of the NBA does it, and it proved costly. The regular season is now over. It ended yesterday. The numbers are in. Let me run you through some numbers that put the Grizzlies in this position. They're pretty simple numbers. Desmond Bane averaged a team-high 32 minutes per game this regular season. Ja Morant, 30.4 minutes per game. Jaren Jackson Jr., 29.8 minutes per game. Now, let's look at how those compare, not to Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks. That's the extreme. Let's just look at the best. I think it's always helpful to look at the best. If you're trying to be the best, let's look at the best. Reigning champs, that's the Boston Celtics. Let's look at them. Jason Tatum, 36.4 minutes per game. Jaylen Brown, 34.3. Derek White, 33.9. Added up, here's what you get. In an 82-game regular season, the Grizzlies' top 3 players combined to average 92.2 minutes per game when they were available. In the same 82-game regular season, the Celtics' top 3 players combined to average 104.6 minutes per game when they were available, which means on average, when healthy, the Celtics got 12.4 more minutes per game from their top 3 players than the Grizzlies got per game from their top 3 players. In a sport where it's typically sensible to copy the best, the Grizzlies did the opposite in the regular season. In a league where the better team with the better players on the court more often than not wins, the Grizzlies took an approach that limited the number of minutes their best players played. That's just a fact. The Grizzlies did not use their best players as often as other teams used their best players. That's a fact. And what I'm also about to tell you is a fact. The Grizzlies finished 1 win short of 6th place in the West. 1 win. That's all it took. 3 wins short of 3rd. 5 wins short of 2nd. Bennett, let me ask you a question. Answer it honestly. Do you think it's possible, if not probable, that the Grizzlies could have won 49 games instead of 48 if Ja or Jaren or Dez would have played 3 or 4 more minutes each in any game they appeared in that was also close in the 4th quarter?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Playing your starters just normal starter minutes would have resulted in at least 1 more win at some point. Probably several more. The number is probably closer to 5 than 1. And if it really is closer to 5 than 1, then really is the difference between the Grizzlies being the 3rd seed in the West and getting ready to host a best-of-7 series against Minnesota, and the Grizzlies finishing 8th in the West and by extension on the road in the play-in likely to end up in a best-of-7 series against a 68-win Oklahoma City Thunder team. We don't have to rant and rave and yell and scream, but what I'm saying is true. As a franchise, we got too cute with things this season. De-emphasizing starter minutes, taking the ball out of Ja's hands, not prioritizing winning games that are winnable in the 4th. Like there were games in November and December and at every point in the season that were winnable in the 4th, and you'd look over and Ja's on the bench, Jaren's on the bench, Dez is on the bench, and you would ask why in real time. Well, it's all about the big picture. Well, here's the big picture. Here we are. The big picture was supposed to have you best positioned for postseason success. Do you think you are?
No.
Of course not. You'd rather be dead-ass tired and 6th.
Yeah, because you get a week off if you're 6th.
Then fresh as can be and 8th. The big picture approach to the regular season did not set them up for success in the postseason. You know what it did? Set them up for failure. By definition, when you finish 8th, you're set up for I don't care how fresh you are. You're set up for failure when you finish 8th. You're set up for failure. So we can no longer pretend that this stuff doesn't matter in November, December, January, February, March. It matters. 1 more win and you're set up for 1 more win and you're not doing this. 3 more wins, you're set up for success. But we didn't need them. Didn't matter. Not the most important thing. Well, now look where you're at. You're headed for a road game that you're not supposed to win. And if you come back home and you're lucky enough to win on Friday, you're headed for a series you're not even supposed to be competitive in. Are you set up for success? Did the approach set you up for success? No. It set you up for failure. Hopefully that is adjusted next season, and that we don't spend the regular season talking about the things we spent talking about this regular season, because those decisions played a role in where we're at, and not a good one. Michael Eaves up next.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Grammy, Academy, and Golden Globe award-winning superstar, Mary J. Blige, live in Memphis. The For My Fans Tour, live at FedEx Forum Saturday, April 19th, with special guests Neo and Mario. Get tickets now at livenation.com. the iconic Mary J. Blige, for one night only.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
I never in a million years would have ever thought that John Cena's final run would be as a heel.
I love it.
I love it.
Once they saw this from The Rock,
they knew it. Everybody knew it except for Cody, which was so good.
Great camera work by
And then the
WWE.
kick. Yeah, I don't think WWE gets enough credit for the camera work and the production quality. I mean, it is incredible.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. I'm inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and on Mondays in the second segment, I'm joined by Michael Eaves. You see him on SportsCenter. You saw him at Augusta National all weekend. He joins me now. Man, oh man, we are lucky to get to go and do the things we get to do and see the things we get to see. But I imagine even for somebody who's been doing this as long as you've been doing it and seen it all, that must have felt awesome yesterday. Just this weekend to experience what some are calling the greatest Masters ever. What'd you make of what you saw?
It was incredible. And look, I've said this multiple times, and I'll probably say it throughout my career. The Masters has always been my favorite event. It's my favorite week of the sports calendar. And that was the case even before I started, going there. This is my 9th straight. And the thing about sports, the best reality television there is, right? You never know what you're going to see. Because we went into that final round Sunday with a narrative of two guys going head to head. That's not what happened at all. But in some regards, if you're trying to write a Hollywood script, what did happen was probably better than what we anticipated, right? And you just can't account for anything that's going to happen when it comes to live sports. And I said earlier, like I always look forward to getting there, and I'm always a little sad when I leave Augusta. And this time, and it's an unforgettable experience. Probably before this, it was when I was there when Tiger finally won again, and now to see Rory complete the career Grand Slam. Yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
Every once in a while, as a CBS Sports employee, we get these emails from, David Burson, the president of CBS Sports. And, it's a company-wide email, and they're just, they're exactly as you would envision. And the one we got this morning was very short. And here's what it said. That was possibly the greatest Masters ever and the most thrilling sporting event I have ever witnessed. That's the president of CBS Sports. And obviously it was a big day for CBS. But I think there's a lot of people walked out of there yesterday like, I just witnessed something I will never forget and people will be talking about forever.
Yes, and it's the emotion as well. Yeah. Right now, I would disagree with the assertion it's the greatest of all time. I still think Tiger in 1997 was the greatest because of what it actually meant culturally. But again, from a story standpoint, like my wife, who is not, she's gotten into golf pretty heavy the last couple of years, but she doesn't have the built-in decades of golf nerddom that I have, right? She was so stressed watching yesterday with Rory trying to finally turn this thing into a career Grand Slam. Nicole Briscoe, my co-anchor on SportsCenter, is on vacation in Hawaii. And when Rory finally won and went down to the ground on the 18th green and started crying, she was crying all the way in Hawaii watching this, right? So from that standpoint, the emotion was so real for people who don't even have to be golf nerds like myself to have some type of reaction to it. And that's the cool thing that happens in all sports, I think, when you see someone trying to get something for so long and having so much heartache on the way to finally accomplishing that, we can all relate to that narrative, even if we've never played sports of any kind.
It almost felt like, because you're exactly right, we're heading into the day, and first off, he's got a comfortable lead, so we'll see where this goes. But if somebody's gonna walk him down, it's probably Bryson. And then Bryson just sort of falls apart. And then Justin Rose is there, and Oberg is there, and everybody's there for a minute. but it sort of felt like, as certainly on the back nine, oh, he's not really playing anybody else. He's just playing himself. This is just going to come down to, can you get to the finish line or not? And you are either going to win this or you are going to lose this, but nobody else here matters. It felt like everybody else was just like a supporting actor in the Rory McIlroy story, and maybe somebody else would get the green jacket at the end, but it would only be because he gave it away. It felt like nobody else mattered.
And no one did, literally, until he put the ball into the creek on 13. Like, it just makes no sense. Here's the deal. He's the first Masters winner ever to record 4 double bogeys over the course of 4 rounds and still win, right? And here's what you have to think about. You go back to Thursday at 15, and he chipped the ball from the back of the green into the water in front, makes another double bogey at 17, and then that one at 13. He made some of the worst mistakes that a major champion has ever made. Still won the golf tournament, right? And it's all of that, Gary, that brings you into the story. But then he bounces back with that incredible shot at 15 around the tree that it hooked to. Could have made the putt for eagle. He gets a birdie. And then at 18, he has a gap wedge from 124, and he puts it in the right bunker. That was a terrible golf shot of a player of his caliber. And then he comes back, almost the same yardage, exact same club, and hits it within 3 feet. All in a matter of about 45 minutes. Like, what is going on? But that is the story of Rory McIlroy as it relates to him trying to get that elusive green jacket. And also, again, his first major in 11 years. He hadn't won since 2014. So you put all that together, and the story is just incomparable.
To me, that was the most amazing part of it. I think for people who, like, a lot of people watch golf, but if you don't play it, you don't understand, like, you don't understand what everything feels like. And in a matter of, like you said, 45 minutes, you watch this guy hit golf shots that you can't imagine hitting. I mean, that are literally impossible for you or I or a normal person to hit. The approach on 15, the approach on 17, like, we'll never hit those shots in our life. But then, like, on 18, if you put the ball in the middle of the fairway from 124 for you, and you put that ball in that bunker, you would be mad at yourself. And this is
100%.
You would think, I just screwed this up. There were moments, and these numbers are rough numbers, but you'll get the point. You lay that ball at 124, and there's 9 out of 10 times he's on the green, 2-putt out of there. He puts it in the bunker. Okay, fine. 9 out of 10 times he's going to get up and down from here. This is no problem. The chip is what it is. Out of the bunker, what it is. Okay, fine. 9 out of 10 times he makes this putt. Then he misses it. It was like everything he would normally do. But then just as soon as you're like, this guy's choking it away, he hits the most amazing shot again under the same type of pressure. I just don't remember a roller coaster ride quite like that.
No, it doesn't happen, Gary. It doesn't happen. Either you're so good dialed in that week that you make all the right plays. In golf, it would be all the right swings, right, or you don't. There is no in between. There's no blending of the two. Right? Only Rory McIlroy has done that. Like, Jordan Spieth kind of plays golf that way sometimes in, like, regular tour events. He even did it when he won the Open Championship. You know, he's way over here, but he hits on the green, ends up making birdies, like that kind of stuff. But not over the course of 4 rounds under those conditions with that much at stake. No one has done that in history of the game, and Rory did it to get his first green jacket. It's just amazing.
I do think the emotion he showed sort of makes it resonate with everybody. Like, if you know the Rory McIlroy story, then that's easy to get caught up in. Like, I found myself, I don't know this guy. I've never met him. But I was, like, emotionally invested for him. Like, I just don't want to – I don't like watching people struggle, and I don't want to see him fail on this stage because I know how much he'll carry that around with him. So I'm like – I'm not financially invested. I'm just like, I want this for this guy because I can't deal with the alternative. I know the story. But I think even if you don't know the story, you just watch a man buckle to his knees and cry and go and, you know, embrace his wife, given everything they so publicly have gone through. His little girl there. I just thought the whole thing was sweet. And I also appreciated the way CBS just sort of let it breathe. And we all just sort of watched it together without many voices at all.
Here's the deal. No matter what happened at the end of that tournament, based on what had happened the previous 5 or 6 holes, Rory McIlroy was going to cry after, right? But it's way better to cry because of joy and relief than disappointment and yet another failure on a large scale, right? So that was apparent. Clearly, that was tears of joy. And someone asked me earlier in the week, if Rory McIlroy needed a Masters and to validate his career. And I said, no, he does not need it, but he deserves it because of the caliber of player he has been throughout his career and also what he has meant to the game over the last 3 years. If anyone deserved it, I thought it was Rory McIlroy, and I'm so happy for him that he was able to get past that. And now, here's the thing, Gary. No one's playing better on the PGA Tour, golf in the world right now than Rory McIlroy. He may win another one this year or two. Now that relief is gone, he is even more free to go out there and just let it rip.
Well, I think that's important because I can't get into Rory McIlroy's head, but I can imagine the way I would be if I were Rory McIlroy. And the way I imagine is for more than a decade, people have been wondering if I'm ever going to do this thing that I haven't done. And I get asked about it at every turn. Everything about my life is, are you ever going to do this thing, though? Okay, now I'm 35 years old and it's done. There's really nothing else for people to ask if I can do it. I've done it all now. I mean, I guess can you do the annual Grand Slam or whatever, win them all? But that's such a bar so ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not even a question. No.
Right.
And here's the deal, Gary, to your point, at his post-round news conference yesterday, he said to the media, what are you going to ask me next year?
Perfect. I just think from a mental health perspective, just from the weight off of you perspective, it must feel amazing to know I've done it. This thing that I even on some level wondered, am I going to be able to do this? And if I don't do it, people are going to talk about it forever. They will talk about what I didn't do just as much as they talk about what I did. That's all over now. And I bet that however many millions he has, I bet you that is worth everything to him. That's the most 100%. Important thing.
100%. And he even said it himself after the round yesterday. I was beginning to wonder if it was ever going to be my time. And if you think about it, there were multiple moments during that second 9 where he probably had those thoughts. He's like, how did I put that ball into the tributary to Race Creek there at 13 from this distance? No one does that. Right. If it's happening to me, maybe I'm not destined to do this. But then he turns around and pulls off on the other shot. Then he makes another dumb mistake. Like, you can understand how that doubt from a self-doubt standpoint would continue to creep into his mind, but he persevered beyond that, Gary, and that is not normal. Yeah. That is not normal human behavior. Only the greats are able to do that.
If he would have lost that in the way that it appeared he was going to lose it yesterday, I think I don't care how strong-minded you are, it becomes impossible not to not to wonder, maybe I'm just not mentally equipped to do this, because it's the only explanation. There is no other explanation other than nerves and your mind, and you can't get it done when it's time to get it done. And I'm glad that he doesn't have to walk around with that, because it seems like torture. After the round, Bryson was asked how much he interacted with Rory, and he very intentionally said not at all. He wouldn't talk to me. How did you interpret that? As if he was so focused he wouldn't talk to me, or no, that guy hates me and he won't talk to me?
Well, it's probably both, if we're being completely honest. It's probably both. But that is not uncommon in golf. It happens all the time. Tiger was notorious for that. Ben Hogan was worse than Tiger was with not. There's a story that happened at Augusta. Ben Hogan's playing in a round. The guy in his group hits a hole-in-one. Get to the next hole, Ben Hogan asked the guy what he scored there. Right? So, like, what do you mean you don't know what I scored? I just had a freaking hole-in-one, dude. You're not paying attention to me to that level. You don't know that I just made an ace here on this par 3. So this is common in golf. And for Bryson to make somewhat of an issue about it, it was intentional. It had to be intentional, either because, A, he was really hurt by it, right, which I don't understand why he would be as an adult at this level, or he was trying to make Rory look some type of way. Right. Because, look, when he walked up to the first hole, Rory shook his hand. He said, play well, and patted him on the arm. At that point, there's really no other reason that you have to talk to your playing partner unless there's something that's, you need to move him his mark because you're trying to putt, or there's a rules question, something like that. And then you get to the end, you shake his hand, well played, blah, 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 blah. That's exactly what Rory did. So I just think that, A, for people who don't play golf, it's not nearly a thing at all. Don't allow it to become a thing. And I just thought it was interesting the way Bryson portrayed it.
Last thing before I let you go. I just sort of noticed, only because I saw somebody tweet about it, Dustin Johnson misses the cut. And they just made the point, whatever the string is now, it's like a lot of missed cuts in majors. And he's just sort of been an irrelevant golfer, like out of sight, out of mind for a minute. From your perspective, is this just, hey, GP, this is what happens to golfers? They get older and they start to disappear a little bit. Or is it something about he left the tour, went to live, and he's just not, like, quite literally not the same golfer he otherwise would be anymore?
It can be a little of both, but in DJ's situation, he never loved golf as much as his talent would suggest.
Right.
He just didn't, right? And the way he plays now, where you don't have to make a cut, you get paid hundreds of millions of dollars, he doesn't have the same built-in drive that he would need if he was on a PGA Tour, still trying to make money and be in the majors, right? So it's just not the same for him. He will always play in the Masters because he's a former champion. As it relates to the other majors, he's eventually going to lose status in them and just become inconsequential unless he happens to win another one. But there's nothing about his recent play that would suggest that he would. Look, people don't love things the way we want them to.
Right.
Sometimes in our relationships, like your partner doesn't love you the way you want them to love you back, right? And DJ just doesn't love golf. He's probably he could be happier now, Gary, the way his life is than it was 3-4 years ago, because he doesn't have the grind maybe he felt playing week to week in the PGA Tour. And you know what? That's fine. Right. It's his life. He can do whatever he wants with his talent.
That is Michael Eaves from ESPN. Make sure you're following him on Twitter. That's at Michael Eaves, at Michael Eaves. I'm glad you got to do there. I enjoyed your work. Got to be there this weekend. I enjoyed your work. I watched you all weekend. Thanks for being here with me on this Monday.
All right, man. Be good.
I'll see you. That's Michael Eaves from ESPN. That is the story connected to Dustin Johnson, that he was incredibly gifted at this thing, but didn't love it the way you would think somebody who has that natural ability would care deeply about it. Like, he's so great that he can be great, but at some point, if you just decide, I don't love getting up and doing this every day, well, then you slip. I mean, you see it all the time in the NBA. Like, you watch these, we identify the uniquely talented kids at like 14 years old, 13, 14 years old. And then we watch them grow. And if you're like a top 5 player in your high school class, almost regardless of work ethic, that's going to be enough to get you to the Dukes or Kentuckys. And it'll probably be enough to get you drafted. Michael Beasley comes to mind. He was just so talented that he was going to be a college star and he was going to get drafted high. But at some point, you get to a place where everybody is uniquely talented. And the work ethic stuff does start to play a role.
Yes.
And if it doesn't matter how much talented you are anymore, if literally all these other uniquely talented people, maybe most of them aren't as talented as you, but they're close and they're outworking you to death, it becomes hard to keep up.
Yep.
And that seems to be the Dustin Johnson story. And not even one that people whisper about. Like, he'll tell you. He literally said when he was considering the live offer, and everybody was like, how could you do this? And he just said, maybe I'm missing something, but somebody's willing to pay me more money to work less. What would you do? They're telling me I can work less and get paid more. Forget that I'm a golfer. Just think of me as a husband and a father. I can work less and make more money? Sign me up. So he did. But when you have that mindset, then that's how you find it very difficult to maintain your place in the sport as a great golfer. Because there's other guys over here who are, they're up every morning. They're back every night. They're working nonstop. And there was a time not too long ago, you would ask other professional golfers, like the other best guys in the world, and they would say, if Dustin Johnson, is playing well, I can't beat him. The good news is he doesn't always play well. But when he has his A game, when it's like DJ's playing well today, you can't beat him. He's better than everybody else. That wasn't too long ago. And now he's just irrelevant, just not the same guy. Some of it's probably age, but I do think some of it is his life choices. Just decided this is not the most important thing to him. Being the best golfer in the world was no longer even top 3, 5 things to him. And you combine that with age and miscut after miscut after miscut. We come back, turn our attention to college basketball. Memphis got a commitment.
Yeah.
He's a familiar name. Ashton Hardaway coming back to play for his father. That's a sweet story. We'll talk about it next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
We touched on this earlier, the panel here, about what really has been the mainstay of the Grizzlies, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Trip has just been awesome.
He's posting guys up. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's physical, and he's scoring all type of ways.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With special guests 3 doors down. And Mammoth WVH. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Creed returns, the Summer of '99 tour.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
The new issue of Slam, the cover dropped, and it is our friend Jaren Jackson Jr. on the cover.
And shout out to you, Lane.
Yeah.
You kept, well, I mean, we knew about it, but you kept this a secret the whole time. So shout out to you for putting this together.
We did the photo shoot a couple weeks ago here on a Sunday afternoon in the practice court. The Sneak Fest show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Ashton Hardaway is returning to the University of Memphis. He announced this weekend on social media, coming back to Memphis to play for his father. His father, of course, is Penny Hardaway. The Tigers landed a commitment out of the transfer portal. You fired up?
I like this because for 2 reasons. One, when he was here, I think there was a couple games early on in that season. They had a good team that year. There was a couple games early on that season that he showed some signs like, okay, there might be something there. And then he just couldn't really crack the rotation, right? And so he transfers, tries to get more playing time. I guess it didn't work out. I'm not really familiar with what he did too much at St. Mary's.
Not much. He didn't do too much.
I didn't think so.
He played 9.6 minutes per game, averaged 2.1 points, 1.2 rebounds. Didn't do too much.
Okay, but you get that experience. I think that helps a little bit as far as just becoming a more seasoned player in college basketball. And again, he gets to be back with that. And I don't know what the NIL situation is with him, but you're the coach's son. It seems like a good get for a guy that could be a rotation guy that you might not be paying massive NIL money to.
I do think all of this is important.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have to pay around $3 million to keep their best player.
Right.
You might need to just fill out a roster. If the coach's son will come back and it doesn't cost you what it might otherwise cost you to fill that roster spot, that might be worth doing.
Yeah, can you give me 6 to 8 points a game coming off the bench?
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to give you. If I told you, if I told you this, Memphis got a commitment this weekend, and you said, GP, who is it? And I said, don't worry about the name, but averaged 2.1 points and 9.6 minutes per game in the West Coast Conference this past season. We would stop talking. You wouldn't have anything else to say.
Right. That's right.
And I shouldn't say West Coast Conference, although that's technically true. He played for St. Mary's. St. Mary's is a good basketball team.
Yes.
St. Mary's is good.
Yeah,
so
they
were
very good.
He was on the bench for a good team, but he was on the bench, and averaged 2 points per game. Regardless, I don't know what he'll be as a player at Memphis. It should be noted, John Tanji was arguably the best transfer in college basketball this past season. And yet, if you went and looked at transfer portal rankings heading into the season, he was ranked like 200 and something by one service. So surprises every year. Hopefully this will be a great one. I don't know what he'll be as a player. I do like that. I just like the idea of a father and son spending time together. That, that's sweet.
Of course.
That's sweet. I don't know exactly what the relationship is between Penny and Ashton, but that's a father and a son that are going to be in the gym every day together again.
Yep.
Be on planes together again, in hotels, spending time together that you probably never get back, right? So that's sweet. For no other reason, I like it for that reason. So I wish him luck.
Yeah,
and,
I think he's intriguing. Like, remember that it was one of those early season tournaments, and he had a game that they won, and he went off. And it was the only thing he really did that season. Like, he didn't have a lot of big games after that, but there was definitely something that made you think, oh, wow, okay. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's been kind of quiet on the Memphis front in the transfer portal, and I think that's because of a variety of reasons, but nobody knows exactly what the prices are for things right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got some very wealthy schools as it pertains to NIL budgets that are throwing around millions of dollars in ways that wasn't happening this time last year.
Yeah.
Just the money's different now. And think about it in your own life when you go to buy groceries or anything else. I gather prices are still high on stuff. That you might be paying more for certain items today than you paid a year ago. And how frustrating that might be in your own life if that's something that's going on. That is exactly what's going on with basketball players. The type of player you used to could get for $500,000 is just not the type of player you can get for $500,000. I told you I ran into a Big Ten coach at the Final Four, and he said, I just offered somebody who sucks $500,000. And they laughed at me. They laughed at me. He's like, this kid sucks. I don't even know if I want him.
Dang.
But I got to have players. So I was like, here, I'll give you I can promise you $500,000. And they were insulted. And I was like, you suck. I don't even want you. That's where we're at. Like, you're buying bad players for lots of money. And so you want to see where the market settles. That could be part of the explanation. And then the other part of it is you need to see what's going on with PJ Haggerty.
Yeah.
And it's cool that he hasn't entered the transfer portal. But unless I missed it, he also has not made some big proclamation that I am 100% coming back to Memphis. I'm sure he's thinking through it. And I'm sure, negotiations are ongoing.
Well, because if you're, a lot of the success that came from this season, remember, he got that team assembled pretty early. Like, they had a lot of time together.
Yeah, and he mentioned that as a positive and among the reasons that they were able to be as good as they were early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, clock's ticking, you know? Clock's ticking. And it's April 14th,
sure.
So it's still early. But this is there's a lot of moving parts here.
Mm-hmm.
And when your best player might be worth more than half of what your theoretical NIL budget could be, this just, are you spending $3 million on PJ Haggerty? Or is it $2 million? Or is it 1.5? Or is it 3.7? Or is it nothing because he's transferring to Texas? What are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of moving parts. We'll get the answers eventually. For now, the biggest news of the weekend connected to Memphis basketball, Ashton Hardaway coming back to play for his father.
Number 2.
NBA draft news this morning. Kasparas Yakachunas, the one-and-done star at Illinois, has announced that he is entering the NBA draft. He will forgo the rest of his college eligibility. No surprise, he's a projected top 10 pick. I only bring this up because one of the things I've noticed in recent weeks as certain players start to declare for the draft, no borderline players. I mean, I think it's zero. Like guys you used to hear as recently as 2 years ago, you would hear, and so has declared for the draft and will forego his eligibility. You'd be like, what is he doing? Who does he think's picking him? None of that. The only people who are declaring for the draft and saying I'm in it no matter what are like guaranteed lottery picks, guaranteed top 20 picks. You want to know why? Because we talked about it. Everybody else is worth more in college now. Like, if you have college eligibility right now, this is what coaches are telling players. If you have college eligibility right now, unless you get a promise from an NBA franchise that says you're in the top 20, you need to seriously think about not going into the draft. Because even if you're picked 22nd, the contract you're going to sign, I can beat it if you'll stay here. I can give you more money than they'll give you. They're on a scale. They can only give you so much. Rookie scale. It's a real thing. That's all they can pay you. I can pay you more. And you'll have some advisors say, yeah, but you need to get into the draft so that you can start your clock as soon as possible so that you can reach free agency earlier. And you know what the counter to that is? That's something Cooper Flagg should think about. That's something Ace Bailey should think about. Kaspers Yakachunas, that's something he should think about. But if I'm projected to be picked 22nd, go look at the history of 22nd picks. A good percentage of them never get a second contract. It's just over for you. Like we see this every year with Grizzlies players, right? Think about all the dudes who are just picked in that range. They just come and go.
Ivan Rabb is a name that comes to mind. Yeah.
Ivan Rabb. Imagine if Ivan Rabb would have turned down $3 million to play a second season of college basketball because he was trying to get to free agency as quickly as possible.
Right.
Wouldn't that look dumb now?
Yes.
So that's the thing. Like, bro, it's a little bit when Liv was trying to get PGA Tour golfers and Harold Varner initially wasn't going to go, but then decided to go. He took $25 million, $30 million to go play in Liv. And one of the reasons he expressed this, like people had told him, you can't go to Liv. You're going to ruin your legacy. That's like their version of you got to get to free agency quickly. You're going to ruin your legacy. You know what Harold Varner said? Bro, I don't have a legacy. I've never even won on the PGA Tour. I don't have a legacy. What are you talking about? I'm a mediocre professional golfer, and this other thing's going to give me generational wealth. I'm not worried about my legacy. What are you talking about? Tiger Woods has a legacy. Rory McIlroy has a legacy. I don't have a legacy. I'm just a guy. Same thing. Well, you got to get in the draft because you got to get to free agency as soon as possible. What? I'm not worried about free agency. Bro, I might not even be in the league when I'm 22 years old. But these people right here are going to give me $3 million to play college basketball next season? I'm going to do that. I'll worry about the NBA when I get there. But somebody's going to give me $3 million to be the best player on a college team next season. I'm doing that. This is, for all the frustration NIL has brought to college athletics, this is part of the good part. You're keeping people in college longer.
Yep.
You're keeping guys who otherwise would be playing in South Haven. They're saying, I can make more money and have more fun playing college basketball. Yeah. So I'm going to do it. You will have more four-year seniors than you otherwise ever would have had, ever, because they're getting paid millions of dollars to play college basketball. That's a good thing. Yeah. And it is why you're not seeing the early entries into the NBA draft while foregoing. You're not seeing those numbers. I guarantee you, if you went to April 14th, 2020, 2015, how many players have declared for the draft on this date in that year while foregoing their eligibility? The numbers are triple, quadruple what they are right now. People aren't doing it now because you only go to the NBA now if you are guaranteed to be one of those top picks. Outside of that, you need to consider just staying in school.
Number 3.
We had a big space launch this morning. Katy Perry's in space. Lauren Sanchez, too.
Not anymore. She's back on ground.
They're back already?
She's back on ground.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Seems like it went well.
Yeah.
Did it not go well?
Oh, I think it went well.
Is Gayle King still alive? Can you confirm?
Yes, I believe so. Well, I can't confirm on Gayle. I saw a picture of Katy Perry kissing the ground after she got out of the pod, so I know she's okay.
Well, that's good to hear.
I don't know about Gayle. I didn't see a photo of her.
Well, I'm going to assume. Gayle and I are coworkers.
Oh, that's right.
So I assume.
Yeah, you need to know. Yeah.
I assume something goes wrong, I'll get an email.
Okay, good.
Good. I'll get a nice company email because we're coworkers.
Yeah.
Never even seen her.
Okay.
But we are coworkers. I'm assuming she's fine. So thank God for that.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you.
Okay.
Would you do this?
Oh, would I?
Not you, Big Bet Bennett.
Yeah.
Oh, let's start with you. Would you, just Big Bet Bennett, you do this? Hey, you want to go to? Do you want to get in a? Do you want to fly to space? I got it covered.
Free?
We'll put. Yeah. You would do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Would you do it if you are engaged to the wealthiest men, one of the wealthiest men in the world? Like, this is what I mean. Lauren Sanchez, that's who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Katy Perry. Then there's Gail. These are all super wealthy, super famous.
Okay.
Like, they have the lives we
like
think.
this talk.
They have the lives we think would make us happy.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't make us happy. We'd still be just as miserable as we ever were.
Yep.
But we like to think if we had those lives, just on a yacht every day, wouldn't that be amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Probably wouldn't be, but that's the way you think of it. Would you risk your life in this way? Would you I'm going to go to space on Monday. How stupid, this is what I'm asking you. How stupid would you feel if you blew up? Like, I had the life everybody wants, and I put it at risk to go to space on a Monday, and now I'm blown up.
But the thing is it's the life everybody wants, but that's not how they think because they've been living that life. It's like you get numb to it. So, okay, I'll give you an example.
Sure.
Like me, where I'm at right now, I feel like I have to constantly remind myself, dude, this is awesome. You got it made. You're living a great life. You're doing awesome things. Look what you get to do for a living. This is so cool.
That's right.
So I don't even think about it sometimes. I have to remind myself. Yeah. I think it's the same for those people. They're living these lives that sound incredible and amazing, but they're just doing it every day, so they don't even think about it anymore. And so you're constantly wanting. So Katy Perry, to us, going to some big tropical vacation in the Bahamas sounds amazing. That'd be a great trip once in a lifetime. She can do it any weekend she wants. So that doesn't sound
I gotta go to space.
Cool to Katy Perry.
The only thing
so
that
now
gets
I
me
gotta
off
go
now,
to space.
The only thing that gets me off now is I gotta go to space.
That's it.
I get it. This isn't one of those things where I'm like, these people are idiots. I don't I would just be risk averse at that point. And I know every time you get in a car, it could be over. Every time you whatever, or you're probably just going to die of a heart attack in a hotel room. I got it. But I would just feel if I could ever have this moment where, and we're headed to space, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. And then somebody says, you're going to die in 2 minutes. This whole thing's blowing up in 2 minutes. So here we are. I had 2 minutes to process what was about to happen to me. More likely, you would just blow up. You never even know what happened. But if you had time to process it, here's how I would spend those 2 minutes. I would go, I cannot believe I put myself in this position.
It's like the people that blew up in the submarine.
Exactly like them.
It's the exact same thing.
Exactly like that.
Why do you want to do that?
Why did you put, as you were dying in a submarine, you have to at least on some level go, why did I do this?
Yeah, why don't you just go have an amazing weekend in Europe? Well, I'm filthy rich. I've had 15 amazing weekends in Europe. I don't need that anymore. I need to go on a submarine to the bottom of the ocean, or I need to go up to space.
And I don't put everything in this category. Horrifically, there was the helicopter crash last week in New York.
Yeah.
Buddy.
That was awful.
I mean, that's right outside our offices.
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, we are on the west side of Manhattan. We overlook.
Were you there? You weren't there. No, you were in San Antonio.
No, I was not there. But you ready for this? Had I been in our offices on 57th, because we're on 57 between 10th and 11th, and you're looking out that side of the building, that's what you see. You see the Hudson River. You see New Jersey. Had I been there at a certain time and been looking out the window at that moment, that I would have witnessed that. That is something I could have seen from our building. And it's a family of tourists. They were just trying to fly around Manhattan.
Damn.
See all the stuff you see.
You ain't never going to catch me on a helicopter, ever.
Okay. So here's the thing. Those helicopters go all day long. Mm-hmm. Every day, all day long. You never blink. It happens all day. It's just, around Manhattan. It's just all day long. And nothing bad ever happens.
I got it.
So I know that I don't think I would get in a helicopter and fly around Manhattan.
Getting in a helicopter.
But I wouldn't be like, you can't do that.
I'll go bungee jumping before I get in a helicopter.
See, okay, so I just think that getting in a helicopter to fly around a city is such a normal thing that despite what happened last week, I would just be like, if that happens to you, that's like dying in a plane crash, or it's like dying in a random There's nothing you can do.
Except that happens more in helicopters.
It does. I think that's true.
I think.
Here's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, if you just die in a random helicopter crash, you just had bad luck, I guess. Most people who fly in helicopters are safe. And I get that that's also true with space travel. Mm-hmm. Perhaps I'm contradicting myself here. Maybe this doesn't logically make sense.
I'd do the pod
what
before
I'm trying
I'd get
to
a
tell you
helicopter.
is that I would get in a helicopter, but if you offered me the opportunity to go to space for free, literally for free, me, if Jeff Bezos called me and said, GP, I love the podcast, you want to go to space with my wife?
Sick.
I would say no. I swear to God, I would say no. Because if I blew up, I'd be like, well, what a dumb way to die. My life was okay, you know? I had some disposable income.
Uh-huh.
My life was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect, but it was okay. And then I decided I needed to go to space for reasons that don't even make sense to me. And now it's over. I would just feel stupid if I blew up.
I think I'd like to go to space. I love to sit in my backyard and look at the stars.
Well, then that's what I would do. What do you think you even do in space? Like, what, they get up there, and then what is there to do?
Oh, I'm in space.
Like, do they even have a bar?
I'm in space, bro.
Do they even have a bar?
I bet, well, it's a little pod. I mean, you saw the pictures of it.
Like, if you got up there, like, this is what I always want to know. What are we going to do when we get there? Isn't this
chill and float around and look at stuff?
Isn't this a question you ask every other time you're getting ready to go somewhere? Don't you always say, if somebody says, you're going to get on this plane,
mm-hmm.
and I say, okay, where are we going? You tell me where we're going. And I say, okay, what are we going to do when we get there? And if you say, I don't know, I'll be like, well, then what are we going for? That's what I would do. Jeff Bezos called me and said, GP, I enjoyed the podcast. I said, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And then he said, hey, you want to go to space? And I'd say, well, what are we going to do when we get there? And if he didn't have a great answer, I don't think I want to go.
I think that'd be a huge mistake.
What are we going to do when we get there?
I think if Jeff Bezos calls you and asks you anything, you had to say yes.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I don't think you
if
can
I'm
say
being
no.
honest. But I would want to say no.
He could ruin you.
He could ruin me. I could be ruined by Jeff Bezos.
You got to just say, I'm in, Jeff.
I'm pretty sure he's already ruined me. Like, we got like 4 or 5 Alexas.
Oh, he probably loves you. You're his biggest customer.
I'm his biggest customer. Buddy, there ain't never a day where the Amazon people ain't in my driveway.
Jeff should be calling you to send you to space.
I should have enough Amazon points built up. I should be able to schedule a trip to space at this point. I think you're right. Yeah. If Jeff Bezos calls you have to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't want to.
I'm in, Jeff.
Okay. Bennett will go.
Shout.
On behalf of the Gary Parrish
Love
Show,
the brand.
Bennett will represent us in space someday if Jeff Bezos ever calls. I'll keep my phone on.
Okay, good.
All right.
Number 4.
Tennessee's quarterback left the program because they wouldn't give him any more money. His name's Nico Iamaleava. Nico Iamaleava or something like that.
Pretty good.
It's close enough.
You got it. We'll call him Nico.
We'll call him Nico for the purposes of this story. So Nico's at Tennessee, if people are wondering what happened here. He's at Tennessee, and he'd signed a contract, NIL deal, and it was a very famous one, like big numbers, and at the time, everybody seemed happy. Well, eventually, he decides he thinks he's worth more money than what Tennessee has agreed to pay him. And he reportedly went to them last week and was interested in renegotiating a deal. And when they said, we don't negotiate with terrorists, for lack of a better phrase, he left the team day before the spring game. Tennessee doesn't have a quarterback, or at least they don't have the quarterback they thought they were going to have right now. And he's in the transfer portal and reportedly getting interest from Colorado and various other schools. He'll be playing college football somewhere else. But this is sort of, we've reached a point, like this is a new place we got. You know, we've had some weird ones, but this is a new one. A starting quarterback on $1 million deal at the University of Tennessee basically went to the school and said, if you don't give me more money, I will quit right now. The day before the spring game, I will be gone. Most quarterback prospects are already on campus somewhere else. There's really nowhere for you to go. No great place for you to go. I hope you like my backup, because if you don't give me more money, that might be who you stuck with. In Tennessee, either to their credit or detriment, we'll see, said, buddy, we ain't doing this. We have a deal in place.
Yeah.
You were happy with it. We were happy with it. We have held up our end of the bargain. And if you're going to try to renegotiate with us on the day before the spring game, we don't want somebody like you here. Josh Heupel said after the spring game, nobody's bigger than the block T. Nobody's bigger than this program, including myself. And so we'll move forward without him. But this is a new one, man. We hadn't seen one quite like this until we got this one. And until the rules change or there's some more structure brought to college athletics, we will probably get this won't be the last one of these. How you feel about it?
I think that what it suggests to me is, yeah, maybe it does set them back this season. It does suggest to me that they're like, come on, dude. Like, we think you're a good quarterback. We think you're good enough to be our starting quarterback this season. We don't think you're that good.
Okay.
Because if they thought he was that good, like he can win us a national championship this year, they would have given him more money.
I think there's some of that, and there's also some like frustration sets in where you just go, even if you are good, I don't want to be in business with somebody like you. Go. Mm-hmm. Like we don't want to tie it to you like this. If this is who you are, I don't want you to
pull this right before our practice.
If this is who you are, I don't want you to be the leader of my football team. So you got to go. I get Tennessee putting its foot down and just saying, this is not the way we're going to do business. Will we go out there and throw millions of dollars around to roster build? Yes. But we're not going to set a precedent for every time you think you deserve more, you just come back and we got to negotiate with you or else. It's a little bit like apples to oranges, but like the whole we don't negotiate with terrorists thing. Mm-hmm. We just don't do it, period, so don't even ask, period. This is that, just college athletics version. We're not going to renegotiate ever. We have a deal in place. If you don't like it, get out of here. But we're not renegotiating with you. They didn't want to set the opposite precedent, so they set this precedent. I get that. Respect it on some level, I guess. We'll see if it was smart or dumb as the games unfold. It'll likely be tied to, how the next quarterback looks, how many wins and losses he creates. Do you understand Nico's perspective at all? Because here's what he would tell you. This is all new. We're all learning as we go. And yeah, I did sign a deal that paid me millions of dollars to play quarterback at Tennessee. But there is a way for me out of this deal. Like, clearly, I can get out right now if I want to. And I know that I can double what I'm making somewhere else.
We're about to find out.
We are about to find out. But what if he were to say that to you? Like, listen, Bennett, I get it. Like, this is all weird and unusual, but like, this is the system that's been created. And I don't know that I'm ever going to play in the NFL. I'd love to, but I don't know if I am. And so right now, I have an opportunity to make millions of dollars. So I could make 2+ at Tennessee, but I can make 4 somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a lot more money, and I only have a defined amount of time to make this money. So I don't like quitting on my team or trying to renegotiate, but at the end of the day, this is a difference. By the time I graduate college, it could be the difference in $3 or $4 or $5 or $6 million of real money that I can pay off my parents' house with, buy my own house, buy 17 Taco Bells, whatever. I can set myself up for life, and I can't pass on the opportunity. So I hate that I've got to leave Tennessee, but I'm not going to work, and that's what this is. It's a job.
Mm-hmm.
Stop talking about me as a football player. I'm an, for lack of a better word, employee. I only have so many years to work this job, and I can make twice as much money working this job somewhere else as I can here. That's what they told me. I was happy to work the job here if they just pay me what I know somebody else, or at least what I believe somebody else will pay me. But they told me they won't. So I got to go somewhere else. Do you understand that at all?
I understand it. I just think that the timing makes that.
How about this?
Yeah.
I understand that. Here's what I would say.
You should have had that discussion right after last season.
Here's what I would say. I understand every side of this. And this is why we need to fix college athletics and not wait for Congress to do it. This is why we need to. The NCAA and the people in power created this chaotic environment. Mm-hmm. It's their fault. This is not Nico's fault, and this is not Tennessee's fault. The powers that be created rules that were illegal for decades. They got challenged in court, and rather than fix the problem, they're waiting for Congress to save them. So they've just this is the space they've created. I understand both sides. I understand what Tennessee did. I also understand what Nico did. If I'm just thinking of it with no emotion, no heart. If he were my son, here's what I would say to him. Our mistake is that we agreed to a long-term deal with Tennessee. We shouldn't have done that. Hopefully other players learn from us. But, son, we did make a commitment to somebody, and we're not quitting. That's what I would tell my 8-year-old son about a stupid baseball team.
Yeah.
We told people we're going to be here, and when you tell people you're going to be there for them, you show up. We can revisit this at another time, but now is not the time. We're not quitting the day before the spring game. We committed to play this season at Tennessee. We're going to play this season at Tennessee, probably for less money than we could get somewhere else. That's on us. Then we can reevaluate things at the end. But we gave somebody our word we're going to be there. That's what I would tell my son. But from a business perspective, I understand what Nico did. And from a business perspective and frustration, I understand what Tennessee did. The truth is, this is why we need to formally recognize this as professional sports. Allow student athletes to unionize. Collectively bargain with them. So that when you go to Tennessee, you don't sign an NIL deal to go to Tennessee. You can sign an NIL deal to make money. But you sign with Tennessee to play football at Tennessee. And there are clauses in that contract. And this is what you get if you show up and play. And this is what you owe us if you don't. And if you're going to try to bounce the day before the spring game, buddy, there's a reason why you don't see NBA players quitting the day before the playoffs.
Right.
And saying, hey, if you don't give me more money, I won't show up for game 1 of the first round series against the Pistons. Because they can't do that. You're in violation of your contract. We need to get college athletics to a place where you can write the same kind of contracts. This is what you get to play football at this school for this year. If you want it to be a 3-year contract, this is what you get to play football at this school for 3 years. You are not allowed to leave our program for 3 years. If you become academically ineligible, you're in violation of your contract. This is what you would owe us then. If you decide to leave, there is a buyout involved, and you can pay us to leave, but it's in the contract. Just make it like a normal contract.
Yeah.
Then all of this stuff goes away. But without structure, you get chaos. That's in any walk of life. Without structure, you get chaos. Right now, there's no structure. Plenty of chaos, most notably in Knoxville.
Number 5.
I got something I got to tell you.
What's going on?
I wanted you to hear it from me. Because you got me. Sometimes, Bennett, you
got you thinking, huh?
Sometimes you make me second guess myself a little bit.
Yep.
I'm not so arrogant to where I can't be moved off an opinion. All right? I have strong beliefs about certain things, but I listen. I try to listen. And so as a revisit our conversation from last week, you were all stressed out about a real ID, and I felt like I was kind of talking down to you. Like I was talking to you like you were a simpleton.
Yep.
Like I was looking at you and I was saying, Bennett, will you relax for a second? You're all stressed out. This is the way they get you. This is the way they get you.
Yeah.
This is the way they get you. They got Americans freaking out every day about something. Someday it's who's in the bathroom with you. Someday it's that.
Oh, yeah. Forgot
right?
that was the thing.
Oh,
yeah.
that was a thing. Oh, you're going to be scared to go to a public bathroom. Keep in mind, 99.9% of you listening right now have never been in a public bathroom with anything other than exactly what you think you should be in a public bathroom with. All right? It's not even a real thing to be concerned about, but they got you all freaked out about it every day, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now it's real ID. You all worried about real ID. All right? Always got you worried about something you don't want to be worried about. And I said, Bennett, just relax. Everything's going to be fine. But then if I'm being honest, I started going, well, hold up. Is everything going to be fine? Because, I do get on airplanes all the time. And am I really? I know I told Bennett he's being stupid to think he's just going to show up at the airport and not be able to get on a plane. But am I sure I'm right about that? So I spent some time this weekend looking into the real ID. And do you know what I figured out?
We're locked in.
Do you know what I realized?
It's real ID time.
Here's what I realized.
You already have a real ID.
I already own it.
Yeah.
I already have the real ID.
Okay, so you must have went and got your ID renewed at the DMV.
See that yellow star?
Yeah, you're real.
I'm real, baby.
That's real. Yeah, cover that up. Cover up the rest of it.
Yeah, you don't need to see all this other stuff.
All that other stuff.
But that's real, baby. I'm real. I'm already locked and loaded.
I am not.
Get like me. Get like me.
This is bad. There's no appointments. Everyone was like, Bennett, just get an appointment. You can go right up there. There's no appointments.
You ain't never getting an appointment. You ain't never.
Roser's got to go to Dyersburg to get his.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like something he would do.
I'm not going to Dyersburg.
You need to get like me. You ain't never going to Peru again, it sounds like. Oh,
well,
buddy.
I got a passport. It's expired. My passport's expired.
You ain't never leaving here again. You the only way you're going to be allowed to travel once this deadline hits, trolley.
As an international traveler, I wonder if my best bet should just be to focus on getting my passport renewed, because I can use that instead of the real ID.
Probably easier at this point.
I want to protest the real ID.
You ready to protest again?
Yeah, I'm
always
sick
come back
of it.
to a big protest, doesn't
If
it?
I'm being bullied.
January 6th is never that far away, is it?
We're being bullied. We're being bullied.
I got my real ID.
Dude, I'm telling you, the airports are about to be what is it, May 7th? The airports are going to be a nightmare.
I got my real ID. I'm not worried about anything.
Half the airport going to show up with a regular ID, not even realizing they were supposed. I don't care how much they say it on the news, whatever. Half the airport going to show up on May 7th without a real ID, and they're going to be like, sorry, we can't let you through. That's happening.
Maybe so. But guess who it ain't happening to? Me. I got a real ID. I've been carrying around a real ID for more than a year now. Didn't even know it. I got my license renewed. I guess it was January 2024.
Yeah, I got it.
January 2024, I got my license renewed.
I did too, but I just went to the stupid kiosk, and they don't give you a real ID there.
Yeah, no, that's your mistake.
Why? What's the kiosk for? If the whole country's supposed to have real IDs, then why do we have those stupid kiosks?
Oh, Bennett, I don't know. Take it up with your government. Take it up with your government that you fought for.
Yeah, I got questions.
Take it up with your government that you fought so hard for.
I got real questions that need answers.
Take it up with the government that you love so much.
Man, no, this is not good. This is not good. I don't like it. But although, here's the other thing too: is everyone's like, this has been in discussion since 2005. If you haven't gotten real ID yet, that's your fault. Shut up, dork.
Yeah, I better called you a dork. I got my real ID. Does that make me a nerd?
Yeah, you're kind of a nerd for that. Yeah, you're kind of a nerd for that.
For already having my real ID?
I was hoping we would continue to protest and not have to be held to this stupid deadline that's about to just mess everyone's day up.
I don't know what the kiosks are for.
Why do we have those kiosks?
So that we can not have humans. Everything now.
Dude, I went and got the
everything now is just humanless.
It was great. Like it took me 10 minutes to go get my ID. I was like, oh, awesome. Got a new printed ID. I'm great. And then like, as soon as I'm about to leave, I see like a little thing like at the corner in fine print that's like, this is not a real ID. This is just
I want to show you my yellow star again. Look at that. I got a yellow star. I Googled, how do you know if you have a real ID? And they said, if you have a yellow star in the top right corner. I pulled my license out. I was so excited. Like that's the most excited I've been all weekend.
That's pretty good.
When I pulled out
I'm jealous.
I pulled out my real ID. I got one. You
can like copy that.
You want to try to copy my ID?
Can we just turn that into like a sticker maybe, and I can just put it on mine?
I'm set up. I'm too blessed to be stressed.
Y'all got yellow stickers out there?
Here's the thing with kiosks.
Remember the fake COVID cards?
People have those?
Yeah, you don't remember those? You don't remember the fake COVID, the vaccine
I had real
things?
ones. Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers had one. I think Aaron Rodgers had a fake COVID card.
Anybody got a star sticker?
He was, what a wild kiosk. I don't know what they're for, but I encounter them in my day-to-day life more than I used to.
Yeah.
Like you walk into like a Wendy's now, and they want you to.
Yeah, you don't go to the counter. You just go to like a kiosk.
And then like at the airport. They do a thing now at the airport.
Your boarding pass?
No, that's fine. But like you sit down in like a Chili's at the airport, and it's scan the menu, and then you have to order on your phone.
How does that work if I'm getting airport beers? They scan my ID? Well, they won't because it's not real.
It's not real. It's over. You'll never experience any of this.
I'm never going to be able to join airport Chili's again.
You'll never go to airport Chili's again. But like, I'm sitting in Chili's, and it's like, I just sit down, and if you want the menu, you got to take out your phone. This is all old people stuff. I got it. Mm-hmm. But it's like, and then it's like, I want a vodka drink, push this, and then it's like, now you got to scan your card. And I finally get to the point. I'm just like,
I don't want anything.
Can I just tell you, you're the bartender, right? Yeah, of course. Can you just make me a drink and charge me whatever you want for it? I don't want to have to do all this with my phone. I just want to be able to look at you and say, just like the good old days.
Yep.
I want to sit
miss
down
the good old days.
And I want you to say, hey, how you doing? And I want to say, I'm doing fine. What can I get you? I'll have a vodka soda. Double or single? Since you're offering, let's go double.
Always. I've never turned down double.
You
ever.
can't.
Not once in my life.
If you turn down double at the airport, you don't even, you're not even trying.
No.
Like, I get turned down double, at lunch.
I don't know.
But at the airport, you can't turn down a double. And they know that. That's why they always offer it to you, right?
Gotcha.
I just want to have that interaction with you. I don't want to have to get this vodka drink, I am going to have to play Roblox for 7 minutes.
Yeah. We need to bring back human interaction. We're eliminating human interaction.
This is why we're going to die at a good time. Because, we still live in this moment where we are kind of needed. A little bit. Not that much, but a little bit needed. But give it another 20 years. They're not going to need us. This world, is not going to need us. So we're going to get out of here right on time.
I think you're probably right.
But
I got my kids to worry about, man. I got to worry about their future. I don't want the robots taking their jobs.
Well, that's over with. There's nothing we can do about that.
I don't want the robots taking their jobs.
Do we believe that we are living in the last great time?
Not necessarily, because I think that the generation before us and the generation before that thought that they were living in the last great time.
But it does feel like things are getting worse. You would admit that.
Things are getting weird. Things are getting weird.
It feels like things are getting worse.
Things are getting weird.
I feel like when in the 80s, it felt like things were getting better. I don't know if any of this is true. I'm just telling you how I felt. It's like we went from VCRs to Blu-rays to just things just got better. And then we went from goofy little phones where you had to text message by pushing 7 times to now you can just talk into your things are getting better.
Yeah.
Does it still feel like things are getting better? It feels like things are getting worse.
It's almost like we should just take a break.
Maybe just take a break.
Let's slow down. That should
be
slow down. The next president's motto should be
let's slow down a little bit.
Slow it down.
But then it is not lost on me that I'm 48 years old and that this is what old people start to do is think about how things need to slow down a little bit. This is a very old person thought.
We do need to slow down.
But it feels real.
We're going too fast.
I don't think I need things to slow down because I'm old. I think I need things to slow down because they're getting weird.
Yeah. I'm not tired. I don't need to slow down for that reason.
It's just I open my phone, I don't know if what I'm looking at is real anymore. All right?
Right.
I don't even...
My favorite thing is people post there's the clip of when the AI first came out and it was Will Smith eating the plate of spaghetti and it just looks ridiculous. It's all scrambled and his eyes look all weird and everything. And now it looks like Will Smith eating a plate of spaghetti. Like you would think that's him.
I'm willing to be open-minded about it. All right? But there is a part of me that thinks our best days are behind us. There's a part of me that thinks our best days might be behind us. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong too.
I hope this is just the old man in me coming out, and that they bet. And then, in truth, GP 2035 is going to be amazing. But it doesn't feel that way. Hopefully, my feelings are just wrong. Sometimes they are. Hopefully this time they are.
You see what this real ID crap's doing to people?
It's tough.
You see what it's doing to me? It's wearing on our mental health. All right?
I want you to see this one more time.
Okay.
That's my yellow star.
All right, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I have a real ID and didn't even know it, which is also something I should probably think about a little bit. I'm walking around with something other people aspire to, dream about, and I just take it for granted. I just didn't even know I had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In that way, it's a little bit like good health.
I guess. I guess so.
People walking around with good health every day don't appreciate it.
Yeah, take it for granted.
Sick person would kill to have your health, right?
That's right.
Same thing with this little yellow star. You get it?
I get it.
All right. We'll be back in a second.
Debo traded from San Francisco to the Commanders for a 5th round pick. There's no other sport where you would get a player of his ilk for a 5th round pick.
Over under total yards for Debo. If they set it at 1,000. You think he hits that over?
Total yards?
Total yards from scrimmage, total yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzlies stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
I need cameras to capture every waking moment between Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston on the same team. The pregame prayers will be generational.
Because that's preacher and a deacon. That's what we're talking about here. That prayer's going to be 40 minutes. We're going to miss the anthem.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Bill Ford Tough Studio. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but can I hit you with some breaking news from the NBA?
Hit me with it.
Mike Budenholzer. He's out. No longer the coach of the Phoenix Suns. Do you remember it was a year ago? The Suns owner held this press conference and said, there's like 26, 27 other teams.
Oh, yeah.
That would trade everything with us. Mm-hmm. Like just trade rosters, draft picks, assets, everything. This is not hard to fix. It's very simple. Fast forward. They're one of the biggest messes in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like we should never forget that. As frustrated as we can be here from going to second to eighth and having to play and go, at least you're not the Suns, you know?
Yeah.
At least you're not the Suns. Budenholzer out, and in Phoenix, might be headed toward they got to blow the whole thing up.
I don't know what they can do. I don't know what to do. You know, they are really in a tough spot.
Like, even if you move KD but hold on to Booker,
you still got that Bradley Beal deal. Like you're not moving him. Nobody's taking that contract. Like that's a weird situation.
Anytime you start to feel down about not having a real ID, Bennett, here's what I want you to remember.
Yeah.
At least I'm not the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you have a real ID?
Yes.
No.
No, I don't.
Okay. Will you be able to travel to Peru or even anywhere stateside come a certain point next month? No. Appears not. Right? But on the bright side, you're not the Phoenix Suns. That's what you should focus on. That'll help you get through the day.
It absolutely will,
I guess. It'll help you get through the day. Whenever you feel a little down, just remember you're not the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
What's today's biggest game?
We got to go to baseball.
Okay.
I'm going to take you to baseball.
All right.
Paul Skeens is pitching tonight.
Yeah, I saw. I'm not loving baseball right now.
You know what?
I'm not having fun.
I haven't really got to immerse myself in baseball yet. You know, the season starts. We're still finishing up college basketball. Tuesday, I didn't get home till after midnight. I want to say like Wednesday, they were day game. And I don't like day games. I'm working. I'm doing stuff.
Yep.
I like night games. I like to settle in at home and watch a night game. I think Wednesday they had like a day game, the Mets. Thursday we're off. Friday was like out in Oakland, 9 o'clock game. Mm-hmm. So you can't stay up all night for that one. You know, you got to get sleepy time in.
Yep.
Saturday afternoon, I'm like doing my own little 8-year-old baseball stuff. I ain't got time to watch a game. Sunday afternoon, same type of thing. Tonight, though, Mets and Twins in Minneapolis. Prime time. I'm looking forward to just turning on a baseball game.
Yeah, that'll be cool. You guys are sitting pretty right now to start.
First place, no big deal.
Yeah.
First place in the NL East, no big deal.
We're last.
Yeah, well, maybe it'll turn around. Probably not.
I think the Orioles are going to suck this year.
Nationals and Pirates. Let's focus on Paul Skeens. He's 1-1 so far this season, 3.44 ERA. That, of course, is Livy Dunn's boyfriend, her life partner. 5:40 first pitch. Pittsburgh's minus 210. Nationals are plus 175. How you going to act?
Yeah, you got to give me the Pirates on a 3-game losing streak. It's a good way to bounce back at home versus a bad team. Yeah.
Bennett's taking Paul Skeens and the Pirates, minus 210.
Does he ever lose a start?
Well, he's already lost one so far this year.
Oh, has he really?
He's 1-1, Bennett. I told you that 45 seconds
he's
ago.
He's not going to be 1-2.
I hope not.
No.
I hope not. For he and Livy's sake, I hope not.
They're getting this one.
Bennett says they're getting it. Take the Pirates. The 5-11 Pirates laying minus 210.
What are we watching on TV?
We're going to watch Raw on Netflix, but Bennett, buddy, unless they do something. Did you watch SmackDown on Friday night?
No.
It sucked.
Did it? It's so much is going on right now. Like, it's just.
Nothing happened. Could not be less interested in everything that happened. Like, I never doubt them. Because they seem to always pull it off, or they often pull it off.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I didn't know how they were going to pull it off, but they did. I'm still assuming that's where we'll be next weekend at WrestleMania, one way or another. But, like,
we're here.
We're here. And I just spent 3 hours with your stupid television show on Friday night, and I was like, where is the big thing that I should care about?
It feels like tonight's got to be a big show.
Something's got to happen.
You got to get some buzz, because then next week you're not doing anything really big besides you're probably just having promos in the ring and stuff to get ready for it.
I don't know. Like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be there. I'm not threatening anybody. I'm not saying if they don't do this, I'm out. I'll be there. I'm just saying that I expect more. I expect more out of WWE.
I do too.
You know what people are saying? Here's what the streets are saying.
What?
Even the Cody finishes story thing, that was all Vince. And most of these big stories that Vince had developed, they're now played out. And so now it's Triple H. And he doesn't know how to do it the way Vince knew how to do it. Triple H had a good run at the beginning, but he was just still playing out Vince's stories.
Interesting.
But now that Vince's stories are mostly played out and it's up to you to figure out where this stuff is going next, now we get a WrestleMania card that people don't seem that excited about.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm more excited about night one. Like, I'm more excited about that triple threat match.
The prevailing thought is that something that happens on night one is going to lead to something
like
big
it did
on
last
night
year.
2.
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
I'm not sure. I'm hopeful it'll be great.
There's no way that one of Roman, CM Punk, or Seth Rollins does not have something to do with that Cody John Cena match. There is going to be some kind of tie-in.
You would think so, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I'm assuming when we're back here next Monday.
And don't forget about The Rock.
I'm assuming when we're back here next Monday, we're going to go, that was wild. We'll have fun with it. I'm sure we'll experience it and be a good time. But I thought Friday was like, what are we doing? Like, there is not, like, and John Cena, like, can't even show up, which is like,
we're
fine.
here, bro.
We're here, man. Where you
You're
at?
main eventing WrestleMania.
Where you at?
It's the end.
Where you at? We've barely seen you.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Whatever. It'll be fine. And if it's not, it's just wrestling, so who cares? But I hope I'm not disappointed tonight the way I was disappointed on Friday night, because I don't like to.
I'm fired up for tonight, because I have not had a chance. Like, it's been busy. We had all kinds of stuff going on. I get to sit down and soak it in tonight. I hope it's a good show.
You're going to get a little loose tonight, I think. It sounds like you're going to get a little loose tonight.
Well, maybe not too loose. I'm going to be here till like 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, but I'm appropriately loose.
You're going to get appropriately loose tonight. Raw on Netflix, 7 o'clock.
What's the best thing we've read?
Cal Porter used to work at CBS Sports. Now he does his own little thing. He's written books. He's a tremendous golf writer, just really smart guy and really talented guy. And he was at Augusta National for what is one of the all-time great Masters and certainly one of the all-time great golf stories.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't read that yet, go read it. Just do a Twitter search for Cal Porter.
I just wanted to say, because I haven't got a chance to say it, thank you, Rory.
How much did you catch? You get rich yesterday?
I feel like the whole country did.
Everybody got rich off Rory.
Vegas hated him winning that thing. Everyone wanted that.
Of course.
Like, that is the fun bet of the weekend. Rory to win the Masters.
Like there was a bet yesterday, like going into it, where you could just, the only thing I saw was that at the time I looked at it, you could get in on a Bryson or Rory just final round matchup.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to bet Rory because that would mean he only needed to win by one. And I kind of wanted it to be Bryson and him like a showdown down the stretch. So, and I didn't want to bet against Rory, so I just stayed out of it. I had nothing on the entire tournament.
Dude, I was sitting pretty yesterday.
But I bet you a lot of people hit because, people bet with most people, not most, I don't know. Some people bet with their heart.
Yeah.
And if you have a heart, it was probably with Rory McIlroy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was good stuff. Well,
congrats to you. First and foremost, congrats to Rory. But secondly, congrats.
And my boy Patty. Shout out Northern Ireland.
You fired up for Northern Ireland?
Just Rory, Patty, and the UFC. Patty the Batty.
I'm unfamiliar.
Oh, he's our next.
Great thing.
He's our next. Yeah, he had a big win this week.
I understand UFC's huge. It's just something that operates outside of my vision.
We'll get into it this summer.
The president was there.
Good fights coming
Was
up.
the president there this weekend again?
Yeah, him and Elon were there, front row. Yep.
I saw where he had the moment with Cheryl Hines. I saw that.
Hilarious. He went back and talked to her.
I know, but that
hilarious.
So is that
good? Have you seen the clips of the Curve music playing when he?
Is that intentional or is that just him being?
That's just him.
That's just him.
Because then there's videos of him going back and they're like all three laughing and talking.
He just really doesn't see everybody. He's a different dude.
He stared right at her. He looked right in her face and she looks at Kennedy and goes, "What the hell?"
He's a different dude. I think if there's one thing you could say about that fella, it's that he's a different dude.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Anyway, Kyle Porter wrote about the Masters and Rory McIlroy and everything that goes along with that. So if you haven't read it yet, do a Google search for him. I bet you'll enjoy it.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's going to be a big day. It's postseason basketball. Not the kind we wanted to play, not the kind we expected to play. But you know what you do when you're holding lemons, right, Bennett?
You bust them over the Warriors' face.
I don't think you threaten physical violence with them. That's not what I was going for. When you have lemons, you make lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
I think Beyonce taught us that, right? Did we want to be holding these lemons? Nope. Did we ever think we'd be holding these lemons? Nope. But now all we can do is make lemonade, Bennett. You ready to make some lemonade tomorrow night?
I am. And let me ask you, okay, regardless of what happens in a first round playoff series, okay, a win tomorrow night
will feel great.
Would feel amazing.
Yes.
I mean, listen, I don't think it changes necessarily how everyone feels about the season, like if they get blasted in the first round of the playoffs, but a win tomorrow night would be so much fun because then you get to obviously they've kind of had your number a little bit, but you get to have that. Yeah, but y'all can't beat us in the play-in.
Also,
that's kind of fun.
Also, they just don't respect you.
That's right.
Like Draymond Green looks down at you.
That's right.
Even though he can't make a layup, he looks down at you.
He did the little buddy thing with Jaren in the foul trouble a couple weeks ago.
And he's talked shit about Zach Edey.
Yep.
And before he talked shit about Taylor Jenkins.
Yep.
Yeah, you just don't want them to send you to.
I know we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I do want to say, just looking back, because the only game in that series that you really can pay attention to this season is the last one, because it's the only one that they had Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Our bigs all played well in that game. Jaren, Zach Edey, and Santi all played really well in that game. Santi, he people say he's not great against good teams. He's been great against the Warriors. So, if you're looking for positives.
Ben is trying to talk himself into it.
They ain't that big.
I'm going to let him talk me into it tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be fun. I love days like tomorrow. You know why? We have something to look forward to, all of us. We have something to look forward to. A meaningful game will be played late tomorrow night on national television.
Yep.
I don't know how it'll go, but I like the idea that we got something to look forward to. I wish we were just looking forward to watching tomorrow night, two other teams play, and maybe seeing how that would, make the Western Conference playoff picture shake out. And we were already set as the 2 seed. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted.
Yep.
But we're holding lemons, Bennett. Let's make lemonade.
Let's do it.
Let's make lemonade. Tomorrow's night's going to be fun. Tomorrow's Going to be fun.
I hope so.
Tomorrow, the build-up's going to be fun.
The build-up will be great.
And then we'll see what happens after 9 o'clock.
Yep, let's go.
And if the good thing about a 9 o'clock game is you got plenty of time to get yourself to a place where if things start to go poorly, you can just not remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can just not remember it and wake up tomorrow and figure it out. But you won't have to. You can numb yourself, Bennett. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I hope we don't have to numb ourselves tomorrow night. But if we have to, I will be prepared.
Whatever happens, come chill with me, Jessica Benson, John Roser. Double post show going to be happening on YouTube, X, all of the above, 92.9. It's going to be on every platform right after the game, or like 30 minutes after the game. So be there.
Bennett said be there either right after the game or 30 minutes later.
30 minutes after the game.
All right.
We got to do a network post-game show
I know
first.
what's going on, Bennett.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. All right. I feel like we've said enough. Hey, let's come in here tomorrow and let's get excited. All right?
Let's do it.
Let's come in tomorrow and let's talk ourselves into it.
I feel better.
Let's come in here tomorrow with our lemons and let's make lemonade.
Okay.
We're going to spend Tuesday making lemonade.
Good.
I can't wait. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. Meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.